Good morning. We're back again, another Sprayfoam installation. So this morning we're in Birmingham having a look at this roof here. The current owner bought the property with the insulation already present. We believed it was installed circa 1990s. We've got some documentation for it. So I've been out this morning because we're going to include this roof void in our Sprayfoam insulation study. Just a quick look at it. As you can probably tell, this is a closed cell spray foam. It's very thin, it's very hard. This is considered to be not vapor permeable. It's also quite difficult to remove when compared to the open cell stuff. But you can just see here that a section of it's already been removed. We've got exposed there the underside of the tile lap. So this roof has no secondary protective membrane, there's no additional coverings. So this spray foam was no doubtedly installed as a sort of bonding agent for a failing roof covering. The building's 1930s, the roof's 90 years old. They are handmade rosemary tiles, and the roof covering, they're a little bit uneven. There's not much uniformity to the tiles. There's quite a few missing and damaged and slipped, etc. through the roof, but in general it's holding up, probably no doubt thanks to the spray foam insulation. So this roof has been kept as a cold roof. I'll see if I can pan the camera around. As you can see, the spray foam does stop slightly short of the eaves, and you can see that air gaps have been maintained. So there isn't really any what you'd call definitive purposeful ventilation to the roof space. There's no soffit vents, there's no roof vent tiles, but there is clearly airflow coming in at the eaves, and you can actually while you're in the roof space, it doesn't feel humid. In fact, I've just installed the loggers into this roof void, and the humidity in here is about 58%, which is exceptionally low for today, really. So again, what we've done, we've arrived at this building. I've done a survey of the property, I've done a survey of the ventilation internally, I've done a survey of the roof covering with the drone, and I've spent the past two hours in the roof. I've been measuring the moisture content of the timbers, the exposed purlins, and I've also been measuring the moisture content of the roof spars. Interestingly enough, this spray foam application has actually concealed some of the timbers there. If you can see this, the actual spray foam comes right around the timber, so these are encapsulated. And the moisture content of these, believe it or not, is actually quite low. So let me show you what I've done. Come around this way. Again, massive thanks to Tramx for sponsoring this, because without their assistance this really wouldn't be possible. So we've got atmospheric data logger here. This is recording ambient conditions within the roof void, temperature, humidity, dew point. Okay, that is connected to a moisture sensor, which is here, and you can see here that we're using a deep wall probe sensor. Well, that's effectively what we call it, but it's basically a moisture sensor on long pins. The pins are insulated, so we're only actually taking a reading from the tip. And what we've done here is the spars are 80mm deep. We've drilled 75mm into the spar, and these probes go all the way down here. So we're actually taking a moisture reading right from the underside of the roof covering. As I said before, these probes are insulated, so it's just the tip, the outer edge of the timber that we're actually taking that moisture reading from. We've got a little bit of band strapping on here to make sure that doesn't slip and fall out. So that's our first moisture meter reading. We're also taking moisture readings from the surface of the timber. Hang on, I'll turn the camera around. We're also taking moisture readings from the surface of the timber here, and we've got an additional ambient logger here which is recording temperature, humidity and dew point. So we've doubled up on everything really, just to make sure that there are no errors. Now this data logger here also has a temperature probe which goes through the insulation right to the underside of the roof covering, and we're just measuring the surface temperature the underside of the roof covering there to determine if we reach dew point and condensation. And you'll notice that yellow orange tape there, that leads to an additional Lascar temperature probe there, which is basically just a backup of this initial probe here. As I said, we double everything up. So we've got 1, 2 loggers doing the environmental conditions. We've got 1, 2 temperature probes, and we've got 1 moisture reading from the surface and 1 moisture reading at depth. So all that information is fed back to us remotely. We're using the Tramx system from Tramx. I'll just show you it here. Absolutely brilliant system. That there is the cloud station. So this is the Tramx cloud station. Basically what that's doing is it's sending all the data from these loggers here up into the cloud, where I can view it on my phone or on the computer at work. So this is real-time data. I'm be able to see the conditions in the roof void at the time that I'm looking at it. All the information is stored. The Tramx software puts it into graphs, so I can actually see the variances or changing environmental conditions or moisture content in the woodwork. I can download all that data, which is what we're going to do in about 6 months' time, and then start comparing all these roof voids, roofs with spray foam against roofs without spray foam, against roofs with poor ventilation against roofs with good ventilation, and let's start getting some real data and finding out just how risky this stuff is. Just a point to mention, you can see these timbers here. There isn't really, come back there isn't really any evidence of decay or dampness to this roof, even though we've got a couple of failed tiles on the roof covering, but there's no evidence of damage, no evidence of moisture, water ingress into this roof at all. It's essentially a very dry roof void, and the timber looks to be in great condition. That's irrelevant of the roof covering probably approaching the end of its serviceable life. So this client is aware that in the next 2 years they are going to be taking the roof off. Unfortunately, the handmade clay rosemary tiles, they'll no longer be recoverable, I don't think. So it's a replacement roof tile covering, which is a shame. So that's it, yeah. What else have we done? We've also, just to mention, we've also got atmospheric loggers inside the building. So we've got 1 internally in the living environment, and we've got 1 additional atmospheric logger outside. And that allows us to compare the ambient or environmental conditions outside the building, within the living environment, and within the roof void. So that's it. Keep your eyes on this. I'm sure it's going to be a really interesting study. Now I've sort of got a couple of buildings being monitored. Yeah, a little bit scary. You consider we've got about 7 loggers in each building. They're recording data points every 30 minutes. So that's what, seven data points every 30 minutes over several houses over 6 months. That's going to be a hell of a lot of data to sift through in a couple of months' time. So sometimes I feel like perhaps I've maybe bit off a little bit more than I can chew, but I do like a challenge. So we'll just see how we go. Thanks very much. See you later.